Děkuji. Translation of your work, Spirit of Prague, Ruhe Prague, in Farsi. This is one of the three books which were translated to Farsi language.
I see.
You can see how much favorite you are in Iran, and not only in Iran itself, but among many Iranians quoting your sentences from your various works.
Unbelievable.
Really, they're so important for them because you are like a symbol of freedom for them.
Speak our country where I never was present, but on the other hand, I couldn't publish my work, and they are published allegedly in Iran. So it's surprising because I criticize any authoritarian regime, but the same happened in China. They published all of my important work are in Chinese. Of course, I cannot control if it was censored, and the same is, I even didn't see the Iranian work. So maybe there's something disappeared from the text, but I don't know. I'm writing about human relations, and it's common for each country, and I have friends in so many countries, even in China, in Japan, and Turkey, and of course all over Europe, so it's very difficult to judge. In January 68, it started the Prague Spring, and we could continue till beginning of 69, and it was the end of any opposition in our country. And since that time, it was really underground opposition. That changed.
Did you believe after 68 that the system can change?
No, I was not very optimistic, and I was not so much surprised when the Russian came. I also tried to prove that utopia is always very brutal. According to his opinion, is the best regime which can exist. So he has to repress everybody who doesn't share this utopian idea. It's an iron law. It's an unbelievable brutality against everybody who didn't accept this plan of wonderful future. Some places can last 10, I don't think hundreds years, because in modern society everything develops very quickly and continues very quickly. But it can last 10 years, and it can collapse overnight. So in theory, it was working class, and in reality, it was ruling party bureaucracy. It was the ruling class in real life under communism. And they also tried to push people how to dress and how they should have the short cut of hair. It was forbidden for men to have a long hair. It was a kind of protest against the regime. I don't know why, because it was in that time, in 70s and 80s, it was a fashion in the West, this long hair. So the young people preferred to do the same, and they were sometimes really repressed by the police, and they were put in not in the jail, but they cut their hair. It happened, yes. And the same was about the music. Maybe with the exception of folk. Folk was more or less tolerated, but it was pop music and even jazz. I have a lot of books translated in Czech from the best Western writers, mostly in the second part of the 60s. But then it was again very strictly controlled. Nearly nothing was translated from English and from German, and so maybe it's something similar between the situation here in Iran. But as I said, I couldn't judge. I couldn't judge. Many people are prepared to trust these utopians because it's a dream about wonderful system. It's a nice dream, but it's only a dream. And in the moment, they find that it cannot be realized, so they are frustrated, disappointed, and they started to protest. So that's the reason why communism and socialism collapsed entirely, with the exception of Cuba. And it collapsed even in China. Now it's an entirely different system than it was this dream of socialism. Yes, it is quite normal that a human being dreams about freedom. And if they found that they are deprived of freedom, so they start to protest. Idea of socialism was pure utopia, because utopia is utopia, it cannot be realized. So after some time, always is again iron law, the next step is a terrible frustration of people, because it was only one class which was on the top. So in theory it was working class, and in reality it was ruling bureaucracy, it was party bureaucracy. It was the ruling class in real life under communism. Very strictly controlled. Nearly nothing was translated from English and from German and so on. Even the books printed in Czech language abroad, because we had a lot of publishing houses abroad, in the States, in Canada, in Germany, in Switzerland. Mostly it was brought to me by some friends from America and from England. Once I got such a really huge parcel with English books, which was sent by young American newspaperman or journalist, and to my surprise I got it. Sometimes they confiscated such kind of books, and sometimes I got it by normal mail. We very soon discovered they were really cheated, and that it was lies and lies and lies, and that the reality is entirely different, these ideas and these promises and so on. We succeeded to really make a lot of criticism, and we use our magazines, which were published by Union of the Writers. Also that we had censorship, which controlled everything. It was quite official group of people. We had such a Union of the Writers to rule the writers. The same union for the artists, the same for the musicians. So everything was created only to help the party to rule. And it was the only exception was our Union of the Writers, which was changed in some opposition against the ruling of the party.
Many Iranians, they're so important for them because you are like a symbol of freedom for them. They're trying to follow your steps, they're trying to follow your destiny, your attitudes, and for them it's very important your stance, not only during communistic rule, but nowadays as well. So maybe if we can...
It's really difficult to answer. Maybe they found some common features of our reality in the past and their own contemporary, but
Czechoslovakian
probably there can be some common features, something entirely different. So it's not. We had no democratic society, and I cannot judge about Iran, but they have some lack of some human rights, so maybe that's the reason. It's really very difficult to judge from such a great distance like is Prague from Tehran.